Hello, welcome to this video, Remy in his bath, could be the title, but I chose going with the flow beyond small resistances. And what I mean is that uh, I was a little bit embarrassed to make a video from my bath. I wasn't sure I was going to look good, my face wouldn't be deformed. Hi Gilles, welcome to you. If at any time you want to join a video, I can invite you. So let me know if you're interested to join the conversation. And the other thing, so beyond this small embarrassment of how I was going to look in a video, I chose to let go that resistance by choosing to make a video with showing my feet. So I was intending to just do this video like this and just letting you hear my voice. But I checked my how it looked with my face and it looked okay, so I chose to show myself. But I can show you my feet again if you want. I'm enjoying showing my feet right now. Yeah. So anyway, so that's part of the small resistances that I went beyond and I was about to release. And the going with the flow is because I've been in my bath for I think a couple of hours now, but I don't feel like going out of it. I'm still good. I still felt good in my bath, and I don't want to rush outside of it. And in the same time, I want to have my duty of doing those videos every day. It's a joke, duty. I'm using it, feeling amused. I want it to be behind me. I want to be free from it. So I wanted to move forward and have it being done. So I let go that resistance, and I think it in itself it's some kind of a topic. Going with the flow, acknowledging that sometimes we have resistances, sometimes strong resistances, sometimes small resistances to release, to allow what is it we want to happen or to manifest. So having said that, I want to take a few moments of seconds just to feel the quality of presence that is happening right here, right now. And Jill, I'm really glad you're here. I remember you shared about your work, and that involves public speaking, and I really feel super happy we met, and that I participated in a sharing skills workshop where you explain a little bit of your work, us using one sentence and choosing to highlight one word of the sentence and to explore and then bring intention, specific intention with one word being accentuated. And right now, I can't yet remember what I learned from that exercise, but what I remember is having been quite amazed by the ability to distinguish the difference, the different meaning communicated by just a really tiny twig. Curious how you are, Gilles, and so yeah, I'd love to talk with you. So going with the flow and beyond small resistances. Right now, I said I was going to do take a moment of silence just to feel the quality of this presence. So I'm going to do that right now. Hi, Beatrice. I'm thinking of a question that I've been asked a few days ago, which is I was posting a comments about meditation I did in the day and some pictures of me by a lake. And someone asked me, what was your intention when you shared this? I would like to connect more with you. And for some reasons, I took offense. I wasn't able to really release the strong resistance within myself, where I think I was seeing the question as an attack in some way. So I was kind of filled up with my past, my stories. I mean, habitual stories that I've been telling myself in different situations. And so it was hard for me to really connect to the sheer intention of this person saying, I would like to connect more with you. What was your intention? And so I wasn't able to go with the flow and to answer to that question to this person. And it took me a few days, and even yesterday I was so in pain that I blocked for a moment this person, telling her that I was unavailable to connect with her, to talk with her. And what is it I'm trying to say here? Give me a second. I'm trying to reconnect to my initial intentions. Yeah. So, okay, my intention right now is to explore the question, which is why. What is my intention? My intention is to answer the question this person asked me about what I'm doing right here, right now. Why is it? What's my intention when I do this video right here, right now? And I realized that I got rid of a lot of resistances, so I'm able to answer that question right here, right now. So I'm gonna do that now. So my intention in doing this video right here, right now with you is to create some space to show an example of someone giving himself permission to show up as a human being. Whatever happens every day, I do a video every day, and so the project is to do it every single day for a year. To practice getting rid of resistances to show up as a human being every single day, at least once. And I'm going to ask the question again, why is it that I want to do this? I think I'm going to do it about 5 times, kind of going to go deeper and deeper into my intention and to reveal, anyway, so I just want to go deeper and clearer about my intention, even closer to myself eventually. So why is it that I want to practice getting rid of resistance to show up as a human being every single day? It's because I think we are wonderful, each one of us. We have unique talents. You and I are unique, and every one of us every human being is precious and unique, and has precious talents and gifts to share to the collective. And so I'm interested in contributing to reveal or to clean away the things that are sometimes in the way of accessing those gems, those gifts, those talents that we all have, and that we could, if they were not hindered or hidden in some way, or restrained or blocked in some way by sometimes conditions that humanity has co-created, those talents would enrich the collective more flowingly, more easily, more graciously, more beautifully. And you know, when I said I want to reveal the talents and I want to support and create, contribute to conditions that facilitate the emergence, the connection, and the sharing of our gifts, our talents. I'm thinking of the fact that I used to be a photographer. I, I'm still a photographer. I mean, I'm still loving pictures, but I've been a professional photographer for some years, about 15, 16 years. And the main picture that I was taking was portraits. I was looking for, sometimes I was working the theme, the joy of being at work, but, and more generally when it was outside of work situations, I was just interested in really connecting to um, um, how can I say that? The sense of beauty, the sense of harmony that I could capture, receive from people, just looking at them. And it was some kind of a dance to find this. And I had a lot of feedback from people saying, wow, I'm impressed how much you captured me. You really got who I am. You really got the essence of who I am. And so that was very pleasant and joyful to receive such feedback from people when I was doing that, when I was working as a photographer. And so I changed career. I mean, I changed jobs, and I'm doing what I'm doing here. Um, and I'm still trying to respond to the question, why I'm doing those videos, right? So I'm doing those videos because um, as a continuity of what I was doing when I was a photographer, when I was working as a photographer, which was I was really wanting to capture this moment where people were magnetic, you know, radiating themselves. I'm interested in practicing giving myself permission to be seen myself by you, with the trust that if I give myself permission to be seen as I am, it's going to encourage through my neurons you to give yourself permission to be seen as you are. Not necessarily in the connection with me, but somewhere else in your life. I believe that. At least that would be a seed that I would plant or throw in the wind. So why is it that I want to? What's my intention in wanting to support being seen as I am and encourage you to be seen as you are? I'm glad I asked. It goes back to the fact that I think I want to see um, a you know, each one of us to feel like humanity can be really experienced as a loving and supportive and healthy environment to be living in, um, like a place where we feel more and more confident that we can show up as we are and share what we want, what we need, what we um, would like to receive or we would like to give. It goes back to I want things to flow more easily and release more and more resistance. It's like, why? Because I want to receive more and more beauty, more and more fun, more and more love, and share more and more love, and share more and more um, inspiration, no things, non experiences. Why? Why all that? Um, because it's meaningful for me to imagine contributing to love and beauty and care, to be more and more nourished and supported in our daily lives everywhere on the planet. It is meaningful for me to imagine that I can contribute to a more helping culture, a more helping um, ways to function together and to live together as human beings in more harmony within ourselves, within our relationships, within our environment, in more caring ways. I still believe it's possible, and I want to do my share. It is meaningful to look for ways to contribute to the best of my ability to a world that cares, a humanity that cares. So I'd like to ask one more time the question: why do I want? Why is it meaningful for me to do that? And or why do I? Yeah, why do I want? Yeah, why is it meaningful? I'm not sure what comes to my mind is the answer to the question, but I can say what comes up. What comes up. What comes up is that it seems that this is why I came for. I came for. Um, I don't know. I remember a very very deep um, experience of mine when I was 5. I was wondering. I was asking myself a question, which is why am I me? What makes me me being me? And what I don't know if I want to give you all the details of my reflection at the time, but I was really kind of listening and kind of really listening to what was happening in the moment that was giving me an experience that I would label as having the qualities of giving myself permission to say, it is me. What was going on that would leave me say, this is me or this is not me. I was exploring that question. I was listening and I was feeling within my body sensations, my thinking. And first of all, I thought what makes me me being me is my brain. But it didn't feel right. It was just mental. It was like, I don't think this is just that. So my thought kind of said, no, it couldn't be just a brain. So I was searching for an answer that would be more satisfying. And as I felt it in my body, the answer didn't feel like it was obvious. It was like, yeah, I resonate, I vibrate with that answer. It didn't feel like it was the answer to my question. So I think in some way I'm realizing it right here, right now, as I'm telling you, there was something that was, in terms of me checking the quality of my vibrations and experiments in the moment. And I think I was looking for answers that would be in harmony with the sense of vibrational qualities that I was experiencing and labeling as me, being me. But I wasn't aware of that quality vibration at the time. I'm realizing it now. I was aware when I was 5 is that I thought if it's not my brain that makes me being me, is it possible that it's somewhere else, in my chest, in my heart, in my legs, in my feet, in my toes, in my sex, in my arms, in my hands? Is it possible that some of those pieces makes me being me? And still it didn't feel like, right on the spot, it didn't feel like I was just in harmony with still this kind of vibration I could feel. And so I kept exploring, and I thought, it seemed that it's like a cloud. Me being me seems to be an experience that is a bit cloudy. And it seems to be around that body, but not necessarily only around my brain or my eyes or my nose or my mouth or my knees or my feet or my sex or my arm, my fingers. It seems to be pretty much around, like a field, and so it seems closer to the answer. It was like, yes, it feels right. It feels like, yes, this is some kind of a cloud. Me being me is some kind of an experience that seems to be around that body. Okay. So what's going on around that body that makes me being me? So I was going deeper in the question. I'm so excited to share with you all that. And the answer that came up was, in that cloud, and I wasn't aware of that vibration, but there's a frequency of vibrations going on in that cloud around that body. There's also a conversation. I'm saying that the also comes from now, but at the time I was thinking just what's going on around that body. And what came up is there is a conversation, there's a thinking. I am thinking right now. I'm thinking around that body. And what's going on in that thinking that makes me being me? And then I got another eureka moment again. It was like, in that thinking, what's happening is this conversation contains elements that says I and me. In French, it's je et moi. So I was thinking in French at the time as I was thinking, there's those elements, ces éléments, qui sont je et moi. Je, I, moi, me. And so it was like, what makes me being me is that there is a conversation, a thinking going on that is materializing in a thought in some way that says I and me around that body. And it's not finished. There's more insights after that. It's go back to the answer, the question, why is it that I'm doing this video? And why it's meaningful for me to look for ways to. I saw that you wrote something, Marianne, but I'm not going to read it quite yet. I want to make sure. I want to protect me following my flow, and but I'm connected with you. I'm just telling you. I'm clear that I don't have yet the capacity to integrate your words, but the vibration I feel you here, and I love that. So, and when I will be ready, I will go back to your message. So I'm at this moment when I'm 5. My mom said, I remember I was in a car with my parents, and I know I was 5 because my mom remembered that I asked her the question when I was 5, Mom, what makes me being me? And I don't remember having asked her, but I remember asking myself. And so I'm there. The answer that I felt satisfying is, what makes me being me is I'm having a conversation. There is a conversation happening around that body, something that I call my body, that says I and me. Okay. Next insight, it came up to my mind. It's like, so then if I had this conversation, if a conversation was happening that was saying I and me, and this conversation was happening around the body of someone else, would not be that person. In my definition, in my understanding of what makes me being me, the answer was yes. If I was having this conversation that contains I and me around your body, I would be you. And I thought probably that all of us are having conversation around different bodies that says I and me, and that give us a sense of being ourselves. And the only difference between me and you is that the conversation that says I and me is located in a different place. It's located around a different body. So that led to another insight, which was, wow, the only difference between you and I is a point of view. It's the point of view. Wow. So we are the same, we just have different point of views. And that led to another insight. And the insight was, if we are the same, what makes us being us is the same, but just situated a little bit different, a little bit around a different body that is moving and alive. Why is it that we sometimes make wars to each other? What is it that we kill each other sometimes? What is it that we hurt each other? Why is it possible if we are, by essence, in my understanding of what makes me being me and being you, what makes it possible that we hurt each other? And the answer came to my mind, my 5-year-old brain felt my body, my 5-year-old body, and received a thought which said, it's because there is a misunderstanding. We forgot, we're not aware that we are the same. And when I received that thought, I had another aha moment, another insight, which was, okay, Remy, me, I. So maybe my mission on earth is to work at removing this misunderstanding, to help people see, feel, and hear that we are the same with just different point of views. And I loved it. I love that mission. I love that idea. It really was meaningful to me. And it felt like, yes, I want to do that. But then came another question, which was how? How can I do that? How can I remove misunderstanding? And then another thought hit me that depressed me and felt heavy, and I felt lonely. And the thought was, I don't know. And I think what happened when I was 5 is I believed that thought. I believed that I didn't know. Or I believed that I needed support. I believed that I needed partners. I believed that I needed to find people I would be working on that project with. And what I thought is it was going to be hard to find those partners. It was going to be hard to find those alliances. And I believed that thought as well. And so I felt heavy, I felt discouraged, I felt lonely, I felt how did I feel yet? There was another feeling that I felt. Disheartened, maybe, but it's close to discouraged, I think. Disheartened. But yeah, I think the feeling was that I shrank. I felt like I shrank within myself. Instead of expanding and opening up, I withdrew within myself. I made myself smaller than the dream. I believed that I didn't know how to follow that dream, how to honor that dream. I received the thought that I believed that was, you have a dream and you don't have the means yet to accomplish it. So you need to get ready for it. And then I had another thought, which was, and I don't know how to get ready for it. So it was a maze. It was a maze in my brain. It was a maze in my feelings. It was like, I had no idea. I was confused. I was confused about what would be the next tiny step I could take towards what is it I really wanted to do. What is it that was really meaningful to me? I'm impressed that I'm telling you all this. It's really well, it's really huge for me, this insight I'm having, sharing with you, that I have received thought that I believed as truth. But right now I see that they were not. Maybe that Marianne, if you're still listening, or anyone else who sometimes told me that you maybe ask too much questions, it makes sense that if I believe that I don't have the answer, I would look for, questions that would kind of free me from not knowing, or that would help me to know. And right now, what's happening for me is that telling you this story, it's like I know what to do. I am doing it. And I'm doing this video exactly for that. That's why I'm doing this video right here, right now. I'm doing this video to allow thoughts, one thought at a time, that are in harmony with what is it I want, with what is it I dream of, with what it is that is meaningful for me. So, having said that, what do I know that I want to do next? That's the question that comes to me. I want to take a moment of silence just to feel. And now I'm ready to read your post. I am going to read you. Quelque chose nous fait respirer jour et nuit sans notre volonté, la création au-delà du jeu. So what I want to do now is to observe where am I, how I vibrate in relationship to those words I just read. And I'm aware that I had some strong gut reactions reading, gut and brain. My brain as well kind of cringed a bit. It was like, yeah, that's the vibration I felt first reading those words from you, Marianne. And as I'm still with the topic of this video, which is flowing beyond small resistances. For me, my experience is a manifestation of resistances to really receive your words, or if it's not even your words, Marianne, to receive the words that are given, that you received and wrote, and that you manifested in a post, and that I'm manifested in receiving it and reading them. So basically, there's those words that came up, that emerged, that got created. And right now, I'm curious about how I can release a tiny bit more resistances and see how flowing the energy flows being where I am right now, having read your words. And for me, the best way I know of to support that, the thing I know I is forming within myself, even if it's beyond the I and me, something is forming that says, breathe and listen. Take a moment of silence. Just listen. And I'm doing that now. It's only 35 minutes and 27 seconds that I'm talking. It feels like an eternity to me. It feels like I told my story from everywhere, every directions, and it feels like it's cool. So anyway, it feels like there's still something that is still a little bit resistant to your words, to the words from Marianne, and I'm wondering if I can read them again to see if I relate to them a bit more, with more fluidity. Quelque chose nous fait respirer, jour et nuit, sans notre volonté. There's a thought that arrived that says, quelque chose nous fait respirer jour et nuit sans notre volonté. I received a thought that says, that's a thought. And for me, a thought that we keep thinking is the definition of belief. A belief for me is a thought that we keep thinking. So saying something makes us breathe day and night without our willing is a thought. I realized that I was reading in French and didn't translate for you, sorry. So the thought is, something makes us breathe day and night without our willing. The creation beyond the I. And so still I'm feeling some resistance again, so I'm just gonna breathe and see if I can release a tiny bit more resistance. But yeah, I think the resistance I'm sensing is that when I said I believe that a thought we keep thinking is a belief, or a thought we keep thinking is my definition of a belief. That's a thought that I received that I'm expressing. And that belief of mine I'm wondering if I can let it go, if I can let go any attachment to that thought, if I just can let it go as well, like dropping any attachment to that thought. And I like that suggestion. I like that thought. So, if I I'm noticing I'm getting a bit chilly. I'm going to put some warm water in the bath. Alors, Mayan wrote something else. I'm willing to read it. Marianne says it doesn't work, the comments, why you speak, because when you read the comments, you already are further in your reasoning, your video, and you don't know what I'm responding to. Okay. So I'm guessing, Marianne, having learned that you're deciding not to comment anymore, or is that a request that when you have a comment, you would like me to read it faster to kind of be more close to what you were? What about you? In your comment, you precise what you are responding to. You know, where you said you heard me say whatever, for example, this or that, and in relationship to that, you want to say blah blah blah, and then that would kind of connect where I was when I was speaking, and when you make the comments. How do you what do you think about that, Marianne? Does it feel like a good plan to you? I mean, yeah, whatever you want to say in your comment, I definitely will read it when I'm capable of it, of reading it, and I respond as I am capable of responding to it. If you choose not to write anything more in the comment, that's something you can choose, and I'm wondering why I'm right now myself, whether you put more comment or whether you don't. So I'm just going to maybe come back to the first one. Quelque chose nous fait respirer jour et nuit, sans notre volonté, la création de la du jeu. Yeah, I'm remembering my intention of this video, which is flowing beyond small resistances. And I think right now what I'm receiving as thought is I'm getting tired of being in the bath. I want to get out soon. I want to eat something, and it would be nice to finish up this video pretty soon. Okay, that's the thought that came up in my mind, and there's also another thought that came up, which, you know, like comments. There's also comments that comes up in my head as well. Oh, you wrote something, Marianne, so I'm gonna choose to read it right away to see where it goes. You said, c'est un rapport à la question 5, à 5 ans. Qu'est-ce qui me fait penser que je suis moi? C'est Dieu, la créativité en soi qui agit en nous intemporellement sur notre volonté au-delà de notre réfléchi, notre constitution. Oh, so Marianne has her own answer to the question I was asking when I was 5. I was asking myself what makes me being me, and she understood that I said what makes me think that I am me, which is a bit different from my question. So Marianne, but it's close enough. It's close enough. Your question is close enough to mine, Marianne, I think. But I think it was beyond thought, my question. It was not only on the level of thought, and I like better my question than yours. I was asking what makes me being me. So I was asking the question more in terms of, something around consequence, something which has the consequences of me experiencing me as being me. And you ask, what makes me think that I am me? Which is, for me, focusing on the level of only thought. And I understand your question, but it's not the question I ask. And so your answer is, it's God, creativity within itself, that act within us. And I want to ask, what's us? What makes us being us? And temporarily, without our willing, beyond our I think, our thought I, our construction. And, if I put myself in the shoes of this young boy I was, and where I am right here, right now, when I hear that answer from you, Marianne, I think, Marianne, where she is, thinks how she thinks. She has a different point of view. And it's tempted to think, because she has a different point of view, she's not me. She's different from me. And when I think that, it creates a sense of separation, and I feel lonely, and it's terrible in my experience. It's painful. And what's happening for me right here, right now, is that I remember that what I thought when I was 5 gave me answers that were way more satisfying than what I hear Marianne says in her answer. And if the answer is satisfying for her, that's wonderful. And the reality is that where I am, in my point of view, Farah, I'm glad you're here. In my point of view, in my experience, from where I am, from how I experience right here, right now, from how I experience by vibration right here, right now. If you want, from where I experience God, if I want to use your word, through me. If I want to say the way God is manifesting itself through me, through my point of view, looking at the words Marianne used as my truth is dissonant. It doesn't feel great. It feels painful. It feels atrocious to me. And I'm happy to acknowledge it. We have different point of views, but still, if I think that because we have different point of views, it means that God is not manifesting itself through Marianne, I make a mistake. I'm creating the idea of separation. I create the idea that we are different. We are not alike. We are separated. And that, and my interpretation, the words that come, the thought that I'm receiving here, that I'm channeling, the thing that are happening through the manifestation of Rémi, Rémi Romeder. Who's Rémi Romeder? Okay, just of course it's a construction. It's a social construction, yes, and yes, I think it's not the whole me. I think I am a vibrational being that goes beyond the words, beyond the I, beyond the me. Yes, I think I can consider that. But it feels a little bit still dissonant when I say that. I think it feels like I'm trying to identify, to join something, my understanding of what I project Marianne being at, and there's a story that I'm making up. I mean, that making up. I'm receiving a story that it's tempted to believe as truth. And what I'm seeing right here, right now, is that a story that I'm receiving is a story. And if I think that the story I'm receiving is true, that becomes a belief for me in my definition of what is a belief. And what I'm interested in doing, and that's why I'm doing this work as well and doing those videos, is I want to invite us to be aware of what we think, what we're receiving, what we're experiencing, and also how we feel in relationship to what we are experiencing. So I find that for me very meaningful to make space for how I feel, thinking what I think, observing what I'm observing. And for me, if there's one thing I want to take out of this video that is really connected to what I'm trying to do, I'm thinking Marianne is not getting what I'm trying to do. She's making me work the ability to stay focused on what is it I'm trying to do. She's harassing me. She's distracting me because she's herself and she's following her inner drive, which is perfect. She's working at being herself. Her job is not to follow me. Her job is to follow herself. That's what I believe. Like Farah, her job is to follow herself, and Francois, hi Francois, his job is to follow himself. His job is not to follow Remy. My job is to follow Remy and to be aligned with myself. But any one of you who's watching, your job is not to follow me. Your job is to follow yourself, as I understand it. You may differ, you may think differently, but for me that makes sense to think it this way. So, what I'm trying to do here is that I want to be in touch with the thing that I touched, that is one of the deepest things I ever touched in my life, is that I believed when I was 5 that I didn't know how I want to contribute to what's meaningful to me in the world. But the truth is that it's just a thought. It is not true that I don't know. This video is in some way a way to show to myself and to the world that I know exactly how to do what's meaningful to me, and I'm doing it. I'm so happy about it. So, it's a good time to finish up this video. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for being yourself. There's so much love for all of us. And, just a second. There's one thing I want to check if there's something I want to add about the comments from Maya in a way that would be more honoring her and honoring her point of view and my point of view. Doing a bit of silence could do that. Listening, if there's more to be said. Whew. There's a few thoughts that came up that for me at some point resonated a lot with myself. And I'm not sure if when I'm going to say them, I will feel as much, in harmony as much as I used to. But I'm going to try to just to name the thought that came up and to see how I relate to those thoughts. Really making space for the fact that things we've been thinking and believing for quite some time, it's always possible to revisit them and to check if we still want to think what we've been thinking, or if you want to think something else. So it's like evolution. I like that. So the thought that came up is like this idea that the basis of life is freedom. The joy of life is joy. And the byproduct of life is expansion. And I like this idea of the universe expanding. So it seems similar to what the story we've been all listening to. Scientifically, there's a Big Bang that happened, and the universe is expanding, and there's no limits. It's infinite. It keeps evolving and expanding. That's a story that makes sense. So why not believing that the goal is joy, the byproduct is expansion? Okay, why not? But it doesn't really feel very harmonious to where I am right here, right now. So I'm wondering if I could find, listen a bit more and let emerge a thought that would feel more in harmony and more like a relief or a satisfying way, or bringing a satisfaction. Because if it makes sense if the goal of life is joy. How can I find more joy? And what can I do to allow even more joy right here, right now? And that's a question I like. Whether you like it or not, I like it myself. From my point of view, I like that question. From your point of view, you might not like it that I think that. But it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what you think. What matters is what you want, what and where you are, and how you take care of where you are and your own experience. That's my point of view. You might differ. So anyway, um, I'm giving myself permission to explore my own universe, my own ways of seeing the world and my experience. I'm making space for expressing my precious and unique ways of seeing what is it I'm seeing right here from my point of view. So independently from what others may think, and I realize that sometimes, what for me creates resistance from the flowing that I'm looking for is this idea that I should work at making others agree with what I'm saying. And when I think that, when I believe that I need to work at people agreeing with me, that kills a certain quality of ability to allow life to flow through me as joyfully as I like it to be. So right here, right now, a thought that feels better is to say, I don't need to convince anyone from anything. I'm just expressing myself, and what people do with me expressing myself is their own business. It's not mine. And that felt super great to say that. On that note, I think it's a perfect time to say good night. Thank you.